Okay, so we're working on quadratic functions and equations. I'm doing this unit for my students. So first one we did last time was parabolas intro. Next we're going to do interpret parabolas in context. So we can see, let's read together. Mia kicked a football. I can't note which ones are coming, so I have to read it too. The function f models the height of the ball above the ground in meters as a function of time in seconds after Mia kicked it. So Mia kicks a ball, and this is not the path of the ball, but this is how many seconds and how high it is. Plot the point on the graph that corresponds to when the ball hit the ground. Okay, so whenever we talk about parabolas in real life, there are really like 4 points, 4 things that they are going to ask. And one is, where does it start? And the other is, where does it end? Which is where it crosses. So this is when x is equal to 0, and the end is an x-intercept. It's when y is equal to 0. This is the y-intercept. The other questions they're going to have is like, when was that at its highest point, or what was its highest point? So highest or lowest, if it opens up, they'll be asking lowest. Highest point, and that is y, and then when, what time, or where at the highest point. And that is asking for this x value right here. So there's only really 4 things that people are interested in. I mean, they could say, how high was it at 3 seconds? But nobody really asked that. So this question is, plot the point on the graph that corresponds to when the ball hit the ground. It hit the ground, it's at 0 height. And so that's the point we're looking at there. It's the end. When does it hit the ground? When does it, when does the parabola stop, really? Next question. Biologists discovered an invasive species of fish in a lake. The function f models the population size in thousands of fish for this species as a function of time in months after being discovered. So how many fish are there, and how much time passed? The y-axis is how many fish, and the x-axis is how much time. Plot the points on the graph of f that correspond to the point time when the population reached its maximum size. So here they want the maximum. They're asking for the highest point. And then they're not asking for the highest point. They're asking when here, the time when. So the answer would be 4, right? And at 4 months, they have about 9,000 fish, but they're asking for the time. So, like I said, there's going to be four things to ask, really. Okay, let's read it. Rico opens an ice cream shop. The function f models the shop's net worth in thousands of dollars as a function of time in months after Rico opens it. This one opens up, right? So it starts going down and then comes up. But it's really the same thing. We're going to ask, when was the lowest point? When does it hit 0 here? Where does it start? Okay. And let me explain this graph. So this is net worth. It's basically how much money they have, including their shop and everything. How much money do they have? And this one is time. So how much money and how much time? So he opens a business, so you always start below 0 when you open a business. So plot the point on the graph of f that corresponds to the shop's net worth when Rico opened it. That's the start, when he opened it. They're asking about the start. They're asking for this point here when x equals 0. And what was his net worth? His net worth was $5,000. Leia took her friends for a ride in her hot air balloon. The function f models the height of the hot air balloon above the ground in meters as a function of time in minutes after takeoff. So this is how high the balloon is, and this is how much time. So she goes up in the balloon, and then she comes down in the balloon. Sounds like a fun ride. So let's see what we're supposed to do. Plot the point on the graph of f that corresponds to when the hot air balloon landed. And here they want the end. When did the ride end? When did the balloon ride end? When y is 0. That's that last point over there. It took 60 minutes or 1 hour. All right, I hope that helped. These four important important pieces of information will really help you with word problems on parabolas.